Hello, 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 y'all. Welcome, welcome. I'm excited to be here with y'all today, as always. Hello, 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 y'all. Thank you, Pratham. Hey, Aran, welcome back. Hey, 404. Hey, Batu. Today is day 3 of our Intro to Rust. We're still going to be following the Rustlings course. Hopefully my brain will be a little bit less broken today than it was yesterday. Hey, Shem, long time no see. Hello, hello, y'all. Hey, Anmol Sirola. Welcome. Oh, nice. You can now see the Dreamers. I can. This time I remembered to turn off my VPN before I started streaming so I could reset everything. So everything is actually working. Hey, Ruik. Welcome. It's nice seeing people come back from previous streams. It's always fun seeing that build over the week.
I'm somehow more sleep deprived today, woohoo.
That is a mood, to be honest. When you're like, oh, I'll finally get more sleep, I'll be more rested, and then you are just more exhausted. I am also more tired today than I have been in the past. Before we get right into things, to anyone who's new, I've just seen mostly return people in chat, but hello, I'm Dimmer. I'm a coach at Major League Hacking. And today we're going to be doing part 3 of our Intro to Rust series using the Rustlings puzzle series, is I think how I would refer to it, which is a tool released by Rustling itself that walks you through a series of this doesn't compile, try figuring out why, to teach you some of the ins and outs of the language. It's been really fun thus far, and I'm excited for today. But I want to share, I woke up at 6 a.m. after sleeping at 2 a.m. because someone decided it was a great idea to ring my doorbell and run away. Dang, that is a mood. No one did that to me. I just did it to myself. It is always interesting hearing the different things that people call that in different parts of the world. Ding dong ditching is what it was referred to in my neighborhoods. Thanks for the follow. Tushar Mohaptra. Thanks for the follow. For those of you who've been attending my streams for a while, you will know a song called Count What You Have Now, which is a 5-minute song exactly, which I love to play during these 5-minute breaks that I take, and people have generally loved that song, but then one day it disappeared off Spotify. And I've found other places for it, but just yesterday I found it on Bandcamp. And then today when I was preparing for my stream, I'm going to drop the link in chat. Here's the link in Bandcamp where you can stream it for free. And also there's a button on this page. I'm going to share my screen here for y'all. Thanks for the follow, Leah Kapal. If I share my screen here, this is the link that I just dropped in chat, which is the link to the specific song by Vantage, Count What You Have Now. But you'll see this button here, buy the full digital album, and it is a name your price, so you can download it for free if you want to and get an album full of fun future funk that I really like this song, and it is available on the internet. So I just wanted to share that because it went off Spotify, and I always play this song, and I wanted to make sure that people knew what song it was. Hey, Phasic. Whoa. Peter the Pizza has taken over the stream. This is not deliberate. There we go. Okay. Big Peter indeed. It's a crazy song. Got me hooked. So I was introduced it through the streamer Ludwig, who used that song a lot. And I have just kept using it because it is just so good. Peter Invasion indeed. I don't know if I said hi, Phasic, but hi. Welcome. With that, I don't have anything else to announce before the stream starts, so we can go ahead and get started in Rust. For those of you who are new to my streams are iconic for their tangents, so always feel free to ask questions in chat, talk about anything. I'm always willing to interact with y'all. It's one of the things that I love about live streaming. It's not a lecture. We just get to hang out together. this is stored as the dimmer song in my brain. That is hilarious. And I love that so much. I was talking to one of my coworkers at my day job about this, and I realized that like I described it and they didn't really understand what I did. And I then realized that I'm like in a niche internet micro celebrity where there are like 12 people that I hang out with every month. And for some of you, apparently 404, you associate a song with me now, which is wild to think about. The Neon City image reminds me of New 89's retro synthwave. I love synthwave. Synthwave is so good. And then, big news here, new kitty. Oh my goodness, Shem. I love that so much for you. Feel free to drop like an Imager link or something in chat or in Discord and let me know if you want to share a picture of your new kitty on stream. This stream is a kitty-friendly zone. Some of you who are here, wow, this was back before February when I moved. You probably met Banana, who was my roommate's cat and was adorable, and she came on stream and purred into the microphone, and it was beautiful. I love synthwave as well. Yeah, lo-fi is my like go-to for stream, but I no longer really listen to lo-fi outside of stream. I think I need to just find better lo-fi because the lo-fi that I listen to on stream is perfect for stream, but it is a little bland and repetitive sometimes. Y'all will literally melt if Shem posts the cat pic. The kitty is so adorable. Even my cats are spamming the chat window. Oh my goodness. Cats are so good. There are like 3 stray cats in my apartment community, and 2 of them are related because they have the same sort of like tuxedo pattern. And I love whenever I see them on my walks and I get to say hi. And they aren't super like, they're very wary of people, but they're very adorable. That, and I don't know why or what has happened, but my apartment community is just filled with rabbits, and they are adorable and amazing. True, you need to call them sir, ma'am, if they have a tux pattern. That's very true. Lego released a model of a tuxedo pattern cat. And it is quite expensive, as Legos often are, but it is very, very good. And you also get different eyes, and I believe that's a different nose to make it look different. A very good cat. There was a meme about this. Here we go. That was expand the fellowship. And you had Frodo and Gollum, Aragorn and Arwen, Legolas and Gimli, and Tuxedo Cat. Which I love. Thank you, Lego. Oh, I have a link from Shem. I believe that this is a broken link. Yes. There we go, okay. New link. Such a good cat.
Dimmer melted in real time.
I just love the paws. They're adorable cat, Shem. Thank you so much for sending this picture. Cats are so good. I eventually want a cat, but I want to wait until I am in like a financial position where I can make sure that I can like, I want to be in a place that Isabella Izzy, she's almost 2 now. Oh my goodness. She's so small. I thought she was younger than 2. Very adorable. I do want a cat eventually. I just want to make sure that I am in a place where this cat can have all of its needs met forever and ever. Amen. Before I get one. But I do, again, walking around my apartment community, there is a very adorable cat with one of my downstairs neighbors. And whenever I walk by their apartment, that cat is in the window. And oh, my heart. Cats are so good. She was a stray and already had 2 kittens, also adopted by others. She's home now since Tuesday. Oh my goodness. That makes me so happy. There was another comment about the way that getting cats works, which is just like, if you believe in some higher being, this higher being just tells you, this little gremlin is yours now, take care of it. And I love that so much. Good job, Dimmer, you're a responsible cat owner. I mean, I'm not a cat owner, and that is maybe responsible, but I aspire to one day when I can be a responsible cat owner. I mean, I have 3 stray kitties who are around 5 months old, super playful, and they punched me like 5 to 6 times. Ugh. Juan chooses the wizard, cat chooses the human, 100%. That is the way of cats, they find you. There is Tiny Lions is it is a lounge and adoption center run by the Humane Society in this area. And it's a cat cafe. And the Tiny Lions Lounge and Adoption Center not only helps find homes for hundreds of cats every year, but also provides a relaxed and fun place for people to bond with friendly felines. And it makes me so happy that this exists. I have yet to go. I really want to. Saying this out loud, I don't know why I haven't gone yet, but it is incredible. 13 kitties in cafe, 1 adoption scheduled. It makes me so happy. When you go, a cat will come home with you. That is kind of why I know that I haven't gone. Oh, so good. That is the way of cats. They find you. Yes. I think our dog is part cat. She definitely sleeps enough and cuddles up to me while coding. Oh, God. Okay, Batu, thank you. I just opened this link. I'm going to look at it more in a sec. She definitely sleeps enough and cuddles up. I love... Cuddly animals are amazing. And I'm thinking about before... Like, I had never hung around cats before I lived with my roommates. And it took me a while to contextualize what cats were. And I remember at one point, Banana was like running around, and it was like fairly late at night, and she was being very rambunctious. And I was like, oh, she's up so late for such a small cat. And then it took me a sec to realize, like, oh, cats don't sleep like humans, that she like sleeps throughout the day and then is active at night as well. And like, but I just wanted her to be small and safe, and yeah, I love cats. Does she knock random items off the table? That is always a good question. Okay, and then I'm sharing HTTP cats. Oh, that was the wrong thing. There we go. Which, incredible, amazing. I want to refresh the page and see if there are many cats for each code, or if there's 1 cat per code. Okay, there's 1 cat per code. This is a good image. This feels like such an old, like, era of internet. Oh. There's also, I know... There was a very good... There we go. The cat API. Cats as a service. which was an example that was used for some MLH streams. Because yeah, free cats to help developers learn is like wonderful. As like, do you want to experiment with APIs? Call the cat API.
The internet is ruled by cats.
The internet is ruled by cats. Yeah, I agree with that. I think there are probably many things that the internet is ruled by, but I choose to see a lot of cats. Wow, a lot of different... Oh, I was like, Elasticsearch got in on a cat API? No, just normal API that's named after cat acronym. Internet is ruled by cats and soap cutting and Subway Surfers. I prefer the cats. If we're gonna have an internet ruled by one of those things, I say cats. It is weird how Subway Surfers has had such a resurgence, but that is even more of a tangent than the cats. With that, we're gonna get started talking about Rust. So for those of you who have not been to one of my previous streams, we are looking at Rustlings, which is small exercises to get you used to reading and writing Rust code. So I'm going to drop this link in chat so that y'all have access to it. This walks you through installing Rust and installing Rustlings. And the cool thing about this, there are many languages that do sort of like learn by example stuff, but this one is running on your own machine locally using the tooling and like helps get you set up, which I think is wonderful. There's VS Code extension that lets you add animals. VS Code cat extension. I remember Cecilia installed it on stream and we went mad with it. No, I don't want DuckDuckGo. How do I... This seems like the duck, but...
You can throw the pets a ball too.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we're switching to VS Code. Zed, you are wonderful, but you do not have pet extensions. A million extensions, as it should have. Oh my goodness, there's so many more. Okay. We're going with a cat. And I like black cats. And we're going to create a black cat named Banana. My heart. Okay. Great. Let's install our Rust extensions here.
Good job.
I wish that they could go over the entire screen rather than just in that one corner, but I also understand how this is useful to make sure that it's contained. Okay, we have the Rust analyzer. So now, theoretically, you can resize it. If I drag it out, oh my goodness. Where do I want? I think this is the best place for it. Oh. Okay. Archie and Banana will just hang out. We need to open our Rustlings folder. Oh, Rutro. Batu, hey all, please be ultra careful with VS Code extensions. No. Ugh. Dang. That is good to know. I have a bad habit of installing many VS Code extensions, but I will sacrifice all of my internet safety for small virtual cats. I see now what you were talking about with dev containers. Fun. Goodbye, dev containers. Excuse me. There we go. Okay. I'm sure this is useful for something eventually, but for now, Banana disappeared. Oh no. Okay. Let's go into Rustlings. Open. No. Exercises. That's really what we want. We just want the exercises. Great. And Banana's back. Nope. We don't want a brown cat. Oh, hi, Cooper. I don't have the heart to ever delete a virtual cat. There we go. We have 3 cats now. I don't think dev container would be very useful for Mac. Almost everything runs on a Mac or Linux machine. Ah, I didn't think about that. That is part of the use of those containers. Okay. Where are we in terms of... What challenge are we on? Let me make this slightly bigger for us. Great. Okay. We are on Enum 13. Macs or Linux machines, and that's why it's important to use dev containers so you can isolate for security. Yes, and I'm not doing that on this stream because I have not done it before, and the point of the stream is not dev containers, but rather just learning Rust. Okay, so let's look at our compiler here. Expected value found in a message on line 51. Let's look at line 51. Actually, address all the to-dos. Create a match expression to process the different message variants. I remember this. Okay. So what happened here before is we created these. I did install Rust, but now there's an issue how to completely uninstall and reinstall it. Let's take a look. Rust up self uninstall will work for Rust up self uninstall if you're running on a Unix or Linux based operating system and macOS. If you're on Windows, great. So match is not you can also theoretically use the same thing on Windows. Match is not the same as a switch statement because what it is doing is it is telling us to use these different functions when we have when we call process on our enum message. So it allows us to have different, I guess it kind of is a switch statement in that sense, that it could be replaced with a switch statement of if message is move, then do this, else if message is echo, do this. But it is specifically just designed to match things in that context. So if I save this again, we look at our compiler. Actually, I'm running this again just so that it is better formatted, because whenever you try resizing a window that is formatted with text in a terminal, you saw how jank that looked for a sec up here. So yeah, this is not something I want to be looking at a lot. Okay, great. Match message. Match. Oh, interesting. Okay. So it should be match message lowercase, because that's the variable that we want to be matching. Not uppercase, the type. Great. Okay. So we are matching the variable message, which is included in process.
You can open terminal in VS Codes only.
Yes, so I know that I can open up terminal in VS Code, but the problem is that if I run let's see if it's better in VS Code. It doesn't give us that much space to see, and I guess I could do this. I guess we'll try it. But it was nice having them so separate. Actually, what if I were to? Sorry, VS Code pets, you're disappearing for a sec. Ho ho ho. Hee hee hee. Ha ha ha.
Good job.
There we go. Okay. We'll see how this turns out. Dang, 404. So close to perfect timing. It was the good job that made me. I was looking to see who said the good job. A very good attempt. Thanks for the follow, Sibukur. Sibukpor. Okay. Mismatch types. Because the move message uses U32s. And change colors using I32s. Okay, let's change this to U8s. Here, unsigned 8-bit integers. So that matches, and then we'll need to look at what... Oh, that was a good one. I hate you. It was a misclick. I didn't want to send the good job. RIP. Aaron the dev, that was a good one. Okay, so our point is also U8s. So if we change these from U32s to U8s. And now we save this. Great, okay, fewer ones. Match arms have incompatible types. Expected unit found string. Maybe echo string. So here, the issue is, oh, is that better? No. Two fields. So echo string returns empty is not what we're looking for, because when we call echo, oh wait, no, we don't want to return it. We want to set message equal to that. Wait, what? State, color, position. Oof, indeed. Color, position, quit, and message. So when we echo, we want to set message. What? In our state, we want to set message. Okay. Try wrapping. Okay, I am almost entirely lost here. We're asking for a hint. First step, you can define enums to compile this code without errors. Then you can create the match expression and process. It's the match expression. I'm just deleting the match expression entirely. What? Why does that? Ah. Move should be past a point. Okay. Great. I understand slightly better now. So we have message, and we have an enum that is message. Ah, and we call state.process with a message. And that message is a bunch of different types of functions that can be called on our state. Okay. So, match message missing match arm, move, change color, and echo. Okay. Move, echo, change color, and quit are our arms, where move, each one is a function. Move is passed in a point. Echo is passed in a string. And color is passed in 3 U8s, unsigned 8-bit integers. Great. If I now save this, unused variable. Okay. So what we're looking for here is self.position is equal to a point, is equal to point, the point that is passed in. String self.message is equal to string, which it's confusing that it has an attribute message, and we also have an enum that is message, capital M. I dislike that. Here, change color. Color is going to, or self.color is going to be equal to a tuple of R, G, and B. Great. Okay. Fixing this because I had them capitalized, but they should not be capitalized because they're variable names. Of R, G, and B. And then quit. We just return true. That was a good one for a 4. Expected unit found bool. Okay, what if I just leave that empty? Assertion left equals right is failing. False true. Yeah, so state. Ah, we have quit as a bool here. We are not returning anything. Self.quit equals true. If we do this now. Great. Okay. That sort of half makes sense to me. I'm going to be right back. I need to grab something. Okay, I'm back. meet weighted blanket dimmer. Just feeling a little bit overstimulated with this, and I wanted to make sure that I will be okay. So, thus weighted blanket. If you have not tried a weighted blanket before, I personally find them extremely comforting. Do you get points for redeeming points using audio? You do not get points for that. You're only spending them. New dimmer cosmetic unlocked. True. The microtransactions finally went through. I have thought about getting a weighted vest to do this sort of thing without needing a blanket on my shoulders, but you use what you have. Okay, so let's look at what we just implemented. The reason why I started getting slightly overstimulated is because I like half understand this, which is a good spot to be in because it means that I more than zero understand this, but also half understanding things is slightly So our struct point is very simple. That's like a classic C style struct, just containing multiple different values in one place. Our struct state is the same thing, except for it also has functionality. So state is more like unto a class, where it has a color, a position, a quit, and a message. And what we have done here with this process is we have used our message enum to tell us the different types of messages we can call on state. I again dislike the use of message here twice. That is what confuses me. This is really just any functionality. This is like the types of these are the types of functions that we can call to process, but they're under process. We have all these other, we have change color, quit. I just read those. Under move, we can just call move position. Move position and pass in point. Under echo, we can just call echo, string. Under change color, we can just call change color RGB. And we are passing in a tuple. I understand now why this line is here, because we are passing a tuple into the function. Whew, I'm waiting for some chill here. It's like 38C, which is 100.4 Fahrenheit in freedom units. That is hot. This is not because it is chilly. It is because the weight against my shoulders is deeply comforting. But yeah, temperatures around the world are insane. I saw some news articles about a huge heat wave in India, which was scary to hear about because it was extremely hot, like dangerously hot. And I don't know what can be done about that on an individual level. I know on some macro level stuff that can be done to help with the world getting consistently more and more hot. But yeah, that one's slightly outside of necessarily the scope of this stream. And then we have quit. Great. And now this should still pass those tests. Great. Now, I'll be honest, I have no idea why we would want to set up function process here when we have these functions already defined here that we could just call. I don't know what the purpose of setting an enumerator of, or an enumerated type of the different functions that we can call. I don't know what purpose that serves, but we have done it. Great, we're now into strings. Hi, welcome back, cats. I'm gonna toss you a ball. Come on, banana, you got this. Yes! We are used to 45 Celsius summers. I'm now going to look this up. 45 C to F. Whoo! That's insane. One of my instructors is, I don't know where he is from, but I know he taught, I'm double checking this. Yeah, he taught in Qatar, and was talking about one of the days of like, this is a beautiful day, and all of our like native Michiganders, myself included, were like, oh, today's kind of hot. It's 95 Fahrenheit, which is what Celsius? Yeah, it was 35 Celsius. And I was like, no, today's like a really hot day. And he was talking about that he had multiple days that were, 48, 49 degrees Celsius. And that was what he thought of. The reason that the enum variants are used in match arms, each enum variant is a different type of REST typing system. So match lets you select one by type and map it to a function call. That makes a lot of sense, of using match to match multiple types to different function calls. But the example that they gave us is weird because we have the functions defined already in the code. Like, I don't know why we have added an enum to this rather than just calling. Let me share my screen. I don't know why we have an enum here rather than just calling directly these functions: change color, quit, echo, and move position. I don't know why instead we call process and then pass in a message to that process. This seems overly complicated to me, and I don't know the purpose of this structure here. What is it? It is currently yeah, it's currently 23 Celsius here, which is, yeah, okay. It's we have very different weather from other parts of the world, understandably. So you can send a generic message struct object based on the type of message, and it will select which function to call. Could implement it without a message enum, but I guess they did so in the example code. Okay, great. As long as we acknowledge that it could be done without, I understand. Also, I've never seen the pride shrug emote, which is very fun. I'm trying to figure out what pride that is. I think that might be lesbian pride. I know most of the pride flags, but I do not claim to know all of them. Okay. Now we are onto strings. It's the default emoji for shrug in Twitch. LOL. Wait, I'm going to try shrug. Does this, if I send that, no, that's the default. This is a tangent, but it is a tangent I'm going down. Shrug, no matches. Yeah, I don't have any shrug. I'm curious.
Go back to
404. I both support this wholeheartedly. And also, yeah, maybe it's because I have the 7 TV extension type shrug. So I did that, and it got. You'll see that it's sending my like emoji type shrug. Emote pride shrug. I have this one. Very gay. Very good. Does that? No. Phasic has Prime Gaming. Wait, let me see if it's Pride Shrug or Prime Shrug. Pride with a D. I forgot about Joel Pride. That is an emote that I enabled in 7TV. Interesting. I'm on FF Linux with 7TV plus Prime. Interesting. We learned actually, wait, can you send another one of those shrugs, Phasic? It's an emote from another streamer. From QATW partner, I think. Interesting. Okay, so it's the same shrug each time. Interesting. Okay. Good to know. I don't know that much about Twitch emotes other than the 7TV ones that I have enabled. Okay. Anyway, tangent. We're now into strings. Just removing the blanket. I have been gently squeezed, and now I'm going to let my spine expand back up.
Tangent alert!
A little bit
Tangent
late,
alert!
but it was a tangent. Okay. Strings. Not clippy. Strings, string 1. Great. I forgot about this. We encountered this before. That whenever you have this, it is just a string literal, so it is a reference to a string. But we could also do string new. I believe that also works. No? Unexpected argument of type static string. Okay, we will get to that. I did something like that before. But that is the solution they have taught us this time. Let's learn more about strings. String 2. From, not new. String from, great. Oh yeah, because strings are stored in the heap. All strings are stored in the heap in Rust. Okay. I think it must have been because I attended a TwitchCon event. Ah, interesting. Yeah, because there you have QATW partner as one of the examples here. It's also fun that Linkus is up here. Whenever I think of Linkus, I don't think of like defining the like Twitch. Only issues that the QATW partner user that Twitch seems to use for some global events. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Oh, wait. That's an internal Twitch account? I didn't realize that. Okay, that makes more sense. It did seem really weird that a streamer with the name QATW partner was so popular. Okay. So what we have here is we have a reference to a string that is word. If is color. If is a color word. Wait. QA underscore TW underscore partner doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it? It does not. Now I'm curious here because it looks to me like word is of type a reference to a string. I'm realizing this is the compiler or IntelliSense Rust analyzer, which I don't know why it is. You know what? I'm not here to debug the Rust analyzer. Ampersand string is a string slice type. Okay, well, let's try .toString. Because that's what we were taught last time. Think of it like a pointer reference, but with a specific window to look at the string that it points to. Okay. If is a color word. Expected. FN is a color word. Attempt. String. Consider borrowing here. I'm very confused why I would need to borrow here. Ah, okay. This interpreter was not helping me there. It was actively hurting. So word is not a reference to a string. Word is a string. And we want to give it a reference because that is what we were asking for down here. Great. Okay. That sort of half makes sense. Very similar to Golang slices. I have not used Go, but that is useful for some people. Okay. We are going to I just disabled Rust Analyzer. That is probably smart. What I'm looking for is that just removed it from the bar. In our settings here, I should be able to turn that off. What? What did I click? Oh, I switched to the pre-release version by accident. Okay, settings, extension settings, emit must use, expression fill default, cache priming, auto reload, build scripts, invocation, location, invocation strategy, override command, rebuild on save, use subscriber. Golly gee, okay. There are a lot of these, wow. What are we trying to do? So I'm not trying to disable it completely because there are useful things about it. I do want some autocomplete and things like that. I just don't want these, which I don't remember what they're called. I had the same thing using Clang in C++. Hovering will open a quick menu. Yeah, none of these are what I'm looking for. Here we go. Inlay hints. Let's take a look at our inlay hint options. Whether to show inlay type hints for method chains. Here we go. We do not want parameter hints, or at least I do not want parameter hints. And I do not want type hints. Those were what we were dealing with here. Hey, okay, now those are gone. Great. Editor inlay hints enabled. I don't want all inlay hints gone. I just want these two because those were the ones that were confusing me. And then we'll see which ones I'll disable later probably. But for now, that's all I wanted. It is, okay, we're halfway through the stream, which for those of you who've been to my streams before, you know that I like to take a 5-minute break around this point in the stream, give people time to stretch, get water, all that jazz, and also to give myself time to do those things. Thanks for the follow, Mr. NeoYT. Bio break, indeed. Let me pull up the timer, and then yes, Batu, I will pull up that music. Great, which I'm again going to drop in chat.
Good job.
That is the link to the song that we are going to be listening to, which we are going to start listening to now. Be right back in 5 minutes, y'all.
2, 3, and 4. Count what you have now. Don't count what you don't have. Count what you have now. Don't count what you don't have. Find that you have so much. 頑張りすぎる自分に疲れてふと泣けてきた真夜中のバスルームで Can't you see? Can't you see? 幸せの基準測るものさし自分の心の中にあるのさ足りないもの数えるくらいなら足りてるもの数えてごらんよ Count what you have now Don't count what you don't have Can't you see? Can't you see? Don't count what you don't have. You can't have so much. You can't find. Can't you see? Can't you see? Don't count what you don't have. You can't have so
Let's go.
Honk honk beep beep, y'all. We're back. There we go. Honk honk what? Honk honk beep beep, as if we are driving a car. It is an expression that I have. I don't know how. If that is a bonk for being slightly late, I apologize. That's understandable. I don't know. It's a Midwestern thing to like slap your legs and and then stand up and do something. And I say honk honk beep beep. Makes sense. Thank you, 404. That's very kind of you to think that that makes sense. I don't necessarily know if that's true. Oh, goodness. I'm just looking at the Rust compiler again. It makes more sense than what I heard. Okay, that's fair. Okay. So we have our 3 question marks here. Remove white space from both ends of a string. Add world to a string. There's multiple ways to do this. Replace cars in the string with balloons. Okay. So, add world to a string. Hopefully this one can be input plus equals world and we do that. Cannot use plus equals on type reference to a string. Okay, well, what if we then do let return of type string equal input let ret, and then we return ret, not ret. Let's try this. Interesting. Cannot be used to concatenate to requires an owned string on the left. Convert input to string. Yes, that is the thing that I forgot to do. It's saying to owned, but if we try to string, makes more sense to me. Great. Okay, so that is one thing that works. Replace cars in the string with balloons and remove white space. Those I have no idea. So we're going to hint. There's lots of useful standard library functions for strings. I don't believe we have the standard library installed. I believe that was what was giving me errors here. Problems. No, that's not what we want. It's missing core library. Try running. Let's try this. Great. Okay. No. I just want to close that. No. Just want to close you. Great. Okay. Did that fix that error? Hey, okay. Great. So we should have all of our standard libraries now. And we have this documentation here. Okay. So we have trim, which removes a string with leading and trailing weights to base removed. Hey, Zamuda, welcome. Zamunda, sorry. So what we can do here is we can just try doing str.trim .toString. I believe that should work, unless trim returns of type string, but I believe it returns a string reference. str, not a value. It's input, not str. Great. Okay, that works. And now it is just looking for replace. Good to be here again. Good to see you. Let's go to replace. Ooh. How did you access the documentation? I typed hint
Bless you.
into the terminal here. Thank you, 404. I typed hint into the terminal here, and it sent me right to the documentation page that was to help with this. For replace me, we can now do input.replace. Replace cars in the string with balloons. And then we do .toString to return a string, not a reference to a string. Oh. There we go. Okay. That one made sense. Wonderful. Now we're on to strings 4. Oh. Ho, ho. Okay. Here are a bunch of values. Some are strings and some are reference to string slices. Your task is to call each one of these two functions on each value depending on what you think that value is. That is, either add string slice or string before the parentheses in each line. If you are right, it will compile. No hints this time. Okay. So this is a string slice. And this is a string. I know that. String from returns a string. Rust is fun to owned. Owned returns a string. Nice weather. Into, I don't know what that one does. Format here, I believe, returns a string. We'll see if I'm right on that one. Reference to a string from, and it gives us the slice. This is giving us a string slice. Hello there, trim returns a string slice. We learned that last challenge. Happy Monday dot toString dot replace. Replace returns so I did the toString. I believe replace returns okay. Replace just returns a string. So let's take a look here. If I get rid of this, let's get back to there. Great. And we return the .toString. Will that still work? Does replace return a string? Okay, replace returns a string, not a string slice. Trim returns a string slice though, right? Yeah, great. Okay. Okay, we have learned something. So replace returns a string. Now we just need to look up into and lowercase. My theory is into is going to return a string slice. And to lowercase is going to return... Oh, here we go. Okay. Into tries to coerce the return value into whatever you're putting it into. So in this case, both string or string slice could work because into returns what each wants. Good to know. Okay. And then to lowercase, this one I'm just gonna look it up. I'm thinking, given what I know, string slice. Ah, no, it returns the lowercase equivalent of this string slice as a new string. That makes sense because it is editing it, so it would be returning a new string. The only, but trim returned a string slice because it is just taking a slice of the, okay, I kind of am starting to intuit that. If I save, did I get all of them right? I got all of them right. Okay, great. Thank you, Phasic, for into. That's interesting. I'm sure that is very useful.
Good job.
But we will see if and when that comes up in future projects, if I remember that. Thank you, 404. Okay. We're done with strings. I believe we're done with strings. Now we're on to modules, which I believe are Rust libraries. I'm going to throw a ball to our cats and see who gets it. There we go. Who are you? You are one of our brown cats, which are either Roxy or Harley. Got the ball. Okay. Modules 1. Oh, modules are classes? Oh, and that kind of makes sense why cargo installs modules. Okay. Hey, Ratesh. Immediately, cargo installs crates. Okay. Are crates covered here? No, okay. Apologies. Crates are a bunch of modules together. Ah, okay. I understand where my confusion is coming from. So we have our sausage factory. Don't let anyone outside the module see this. Very funny. Hee hee. You don't want to how the sausage gets made, blah, blah, blah. Actually, I don't know if that expression translates well. This is an English idiom. How the sausage gets made connotes instead of denotes. Interesting. Pulling away the facade of something to discover the unpleasant, even nasty process behind it. So you don't want people to know how the sausage gets made inside the sausage factory. Don't let anyone outside the module see this. Function make sausage is private. Interesting. Okay, so everything inside this module is private by default.
Tangent?
Not kind of a little tangent, a micro tangent. Let's try that. Hey, okay, great. Between July and August, I will be reviewing my calculus because I'm taking Calc 3 winter semester and I'm taking calculus-based physics fall semester. And I've not done physics I've not done calculus since 2021. So it has been a while. But I understand that this is a calculus reference, but I don't know enough to parse it anymore. Something about... Yeah, I know it is derivative something. Slope. Okay. Joke's on you, I inverted it. This is a chat full of nerds, and I say that in a very, very loving way, because I am also a big nerd. Okay. Modules 1. Now we're on to modules 2. You can bring module paths into scopes and provide new names for them with the use and as keywords. Fix these use statements to make the code compile. You can bring module paths into scopes and provide new names for them. Ah, okay. Pear as, I'm assuming, fruit. And cucumber as veggie. Whoa, okay. Delicious snacks, fruit. Do I need to make these public? There we go, okay. I'm lost in what happened in chat. It turned calculus and I tuned it out a little bit. Radhash, when you say no, are you referring to the solution that I have just come up with? I did something different. Interesting. Okay. If you want to explain what you did, I'm also going to look at the hint here. The Delicious Snacks module is trying to present an external interface that is different from its internal structure. Complete the use statement to fit the uses in main and find the one missing keyword for both constants. Okay, so I believe that I did that correctly because we want to make these public interfaces. Pub, fruit, and veggie. Radhash, feel free again to drop what you did in chat. I'm going to move on for now. Modules 3. You can use the use keyword to bring module paths from modules anywhere, and especially from the Rust standard library into your scope. Bring system time and Unix epoch from standard system time, or standard time module. Bonus points if you can do it in one line. Match system time now. Duration since Unix epoch. This is a bit using crates. Okay. And N as sex. Let's hint here. You can use nested paths or the glob operator to bring these two in using only one line. Okay. Use std. Time. Unix epoch. Why are all the languages used for making websites around the same time, roughly? As in they were created around the same time? Currently, I believe it's just because there was a big shift in web development around that time. That JavaScript JavaScript frameworks became big around that time, which I believe is like the early 2010s, right? I believe Angular was the first. Yeah, Angular came out in 2010. And React came out in 2013. Yeah, it was just... Yeah, just a shift in the way that people thought about doing web development. Because also it was a shift of what the internet looked like. That was like the Web 1.0 to Web 2.0 shift right there. So that we needed new frameworks to be able to do more intense things that were more difficult to do with your vanilla HTML, CSS. Okay, Unix epoch. I'm going to start with just doing one as system time now. That's broken. Bit of a tangent, but what are some specific advantages of using Rust for smart contracts instead of Solidity? I've never heard of Solidity. first thing that comes to mind, with approximately one breaking release per year, seems really intense. One of the things that Rust has done is I don't believe they've ever had a breaking release. Rust can have breaking changes, but since version 1.0, they are under clear control. Breaking changes in syntax can be introduced through an addition. Each crate must specify its addition. Outside each addition, there should be no breaking change unless it is required to fix a dangerous security issue. Batu says concurrency. I don't necessarily know about that. Is Solidity memory safe? Basically, the thing that I have heard about Rust is that it is designed for you to have compiler errors, not runtime errors. And I don't know much about Solidity, so I can't really answer this question. But one of the reasons why Rust is so good for stuff like network code or the blockchain is because those are instances where having runtime errors in your code, especially once something is deployed to the blockchain, it can be incredibly difficult to fix. And there's like a big idea of like, if you release a broken smart contract for something that is worth a lot of money, you've just created a bug bounty for that smart contract for either the entire value of whatever is tied to that smart contract, or depending on where the code is running, the entire value of an entire chain of objects or the entire chain itself. So if you have a bug in your code, it makes it easy for people to steal stuff. Everyone's saying concurrency. I don't know about that, but I'm going to trust the wisdom of the crowd here and say concurrency. I will always say, though, generally use whatever language you feel most comfortable with and that you think will do the best thing, especially at like the student level that we're working at. Learning, messing around with things, trying different languages is all really important learning stuff. Okay. Solidity is optimized for Ethereum, so Rust is more generalized. Yes. Rust is not designed for the blockchain. It is just used in Solana contracts, which, to be frank, I do not know anything about the blockchain. I'm not super interested in learning anything about Web3. So I wanted to do a more generic stream, and I needed to tie it into the theme. So hence Rust. I'm not the person necessarily to ask about blockchain specific questions. What are you interested in? So I honestly, that's a very difficult question. What I will say is I'm interested in making things, and I've not found a personal project or a project that I want to create that would be better served using Web3 technology than it would be served using Web2 technology. So the things that I learn are usually the things that'll solve a problem with something that I want to make right now. So what I've learned about secure hosting was because I wanted to create my own like Google Docs alternative for myself, more in hosting an open source project, not completely writing that from scratch. What I've learned about Python has been writing my own scripts. What I've learned about React and JavaScript and TypeScript has been creating my own web apps. What I've learned about databases has been storing my own data, that sort of stuff. Thank you for the follow, Dreamy. Web3 feels more AI than blockchain. That is one of the most cursed sentences I have ever read. Web3 feels more AI than blockchain. Web3 is the blockchain. That is definitionally what Web3 is, unless they've changed the definition of no Web3. So skibbity sentence. Yes, Web3 is an idea for a new iteration of the World Wide Web, which incorporates concepts such as decentralization, blockchain technologies, and token-based economics. Web3 is blockchain, definitionally. The statement Web3 feels more AI than blockchain feels cursed because both of these, AI and blockchain, have been cursed with buzz and hype. And that is one of the things that makes Web3 difficult for me, is that I have not personally seen an instance where, again, Web3 would be useful for me. But I saw a lot of buzz around it. So you love cloud? I mean, cloud is useful in some instances. But again, like I have a bunch of my own servers running over there. Bunch of my own servers, meaning I have an old laptop set up with a bunch of Docker containers on it. I think technology can serve a purpose, and I do believe that blockchain, there are definitely uses for it, but I do not know them, and I'm not immersed enough in that scene to know them. I don't think it's yeah. Big data, cloud, SRE, buzzwords, yeah, all that. It is, yes. So skibbity sentence indeed, 404. Metaverse needs buzz too. Metaverse is another example of something that I've not seen any actual real use case of the metaverse as described. I think this video right here.
Big ID.
The Future is a Dead Mall, Decentraland in the Metaverse is a very, very good breakdown of how these like hype cycles don't necessarily lead to good technology. There's also a very famous tweet of Roblox being metaverse is a skibbity sentence. Great, here we go. This is a tweet by, who made this tweet? Great, okay. This is a writer for The Onion and a developer for Jackbox Games. Maybe a writer for Jackbox Games. Either way, sci-fi author. In my book, I invented the Torment Nexus as a cautionary tale. Tech company, at long last, we have created the Torment Nexus from classic sci-fi novel Don't Create the Torment Nexus. This feels like a lot of the hype that we get around things like AI and the metaverse, where it is trying to recreate sci-fi for the sake of sci-fi. We saw this even outside of those with, what was it? Humane AI pin. Which is well considered one of the biggest flops. A company that was valued at $1 billion with a B is trying to sell a month after releasing their product and it not selling. Because it was them just like trying to create a Star Trek communicator and not actually having like a good use case for it. So that's why I had such like a strong reaction to Web3. The sentence, Web3 feels more AI than blockchain, because I feel like as a student, it can be very scary trying to look at the ever-changing landscape of tech and trying to make sure that you can have a job and all of this stuff. And I know that I am not great at determining what is actually the future and what is just hype. So I'm trying to stick with like some pretty basic, boring stuff and see how things figure out and like work out, because I do not think that I have the knowledge or skills to be able to determine things.
Marquis Brownlee got kill assist for that pin.
Yes, he said, he called it, quote, the worst product I've ever reviewed. That's in this article. It's, yeah. So all of this is to say, Rabbit12, yes, which was literally just an Android app. Anyway, it just, there are these hype cycles. It's a thing that I've thought about a lot. The Zoom CEO talked about the future of AI being having AI avatars to go to your Zoom meetings for you, based on LLMs that are designed to replicate you. And what is the point of a meeting that is just a bunch of AI avatars all talking to each other? I truly, like, I feel like I'm missing something when I hear all of these conversations, because I know, at least for me, like generative AI, the point of me doing this is for me to like learn and all of this stuff. Being in school, doing these projects and doing generative AI kind of defeats that purpose. Customer service, yes, and there are plenty of examples right now of how those customer service bots are horrible. There's one who is selling a car for $1. There's one who offered a refund to someone on a flight And like the airline was then sued, and they were forced to abide by what the AI said, even though it wasn't their policy, because the AI said it was their policy. And if you're putting AI on that pedestal, like it causes so many problems. And maybe magical fairy dust these solutions or these problems will be solved, but they seem like deeply fundamental and deeply anti-human to like customer service. The idea of the future of customer service being you talking to AI bots, like I don't feel like that's a good future. I feel like a better future is to pay your customer support team like well and have them like local to your like audience instead of exporting it around the world, and have like an in-house team of good people. You know, I also build a server of my own so that I can host all the things on my own without being manipulated by anyone and be in constant fear of a hack and all. So that is a big mood. But the thing that I've needed to remind myself is that the things that I'm trying to self-host, I'm doing for privacy, not security. Gmail will always be infinitely more secure than any email service that I can ever set up, because I am just me and they have a team of dedicated, high-paid security engineers. So if you're looking for privacy but not security, host it yourself. If you're looking for security, host it somewhere else. And if you're looking for security and privacy, you host it with a third party who has a good security background. So if you're looking for a good private email service, Proton Mail is an example of they have a good privacy track record. They had a controversy where they were logging an IP of some students who were logging in at the behest of the French government, blah, 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 blah. But generally, they are going to be more secure than anything you host yourself, and they are more private than Gmail. So there's that. The things that I'm hosting on my own server, I realized like I didn't actually want like a Google Docs alternative. What I wanted was just a file server set up with SFTP. So I think hosting your own stuff can be cool, but also there's a trade-off. There are like 3 different things when you think about using services, both as a developer and as an end user. You have security, you have privacy, and you have convenience. And I think you can have all 3 in rare instances. But I think it's important to like stack order them. So for the longest time, my ordering was security, convenience, and then privacy. And now I'm trying to reorder that to be security, privacy, convenience. We'll see how that works out. That's a good use case. I've never been in a meeting that was worth my time, winky face. But the goal there is then, like, if you're just going to have a meeting that is a bunch of AIs talking to each other and then an AI summarizes it, why not just have it be an email? Like, humans can solve these problems by doing different human things rather than just by having AI, like, throwing that at it. Who says that AI is bad? I would love to buy a car for $1. So the problem is that these people spent so long talking to this AI, and then the real humans were just like, no, we aren't going to sell you that car for $1. Like, that's the problem. To allow us to go boldly go where no one has gone before. That's hilarious. Just let the AI avatars handle the meeting part of working for a company while the engineers actually get to focus on work, finally. But the thing is that engineers need to have meetings to know what to work on. Like, there's important communication that needs to be done. I hate customer service bots. I think everyone does. I'm missing what people were talking about with that's hilarious. I like can't find it in chat. Second Life predates Metaverse and is basically what a lot of people were trying to say Facebook's Metaverse would eventually be. Yeah, I think the Metaverse is just like a really, yeah. Too slow with no resolution. Humans are better. I am a deeply human-oriented person. Meetings should be emails. I think there are meetings that are important. I think that meeting one-on-one with people is really good. Meeting with small groups of people is really good. Large meetings, I think, can be emails. My comments are not about meetings with other dev, different paradigms for meetings. Yes, there we go. This design is very human. Yes. Imagine having a bunch of AI bots talking to you about the most common bug in your code and correct it, and then add a bunch of comments about the bug. I mean, that's fun to imagine, but the technology isn't there yet. And this is where it just feels weird. I don't think our world is in a place where it is ready for this. where yes, it would be great if AI got to the point where it could magically, we sprinkle AI over things and it magically reduces the amount of labor that we need to do. But the problem is that we've had technology that has been decreasing the amount of labor that we need to do forever and ever. And we have an amount of wealth inequality and like exploitation right now that would make the American Gilded Age look like a communist utopia. That's a direct quote from Cory Doctorow, one of my favorite people on the internet. Like, I don't know. This is kind of going all over the place. But I guess I just don't see the use case of AI right now that actually makes things better, that wouldn't be better served by allowing people to have a job that they actually care about and put effort into, where like so many of the problems that people have bad experiences with that are thinking about replacing with AI is due to like thoughtlessness or not being paid enough to care or having too much on your plate. And like all of these things that could be solved by like interacting with things on a human
Tangent
level.
alert!
This is a very
Tangent
appropriate
alert!
tangent alert. Design is very human. Some can be important, referring to meetings, but it really depends on the meeting organizer's competence in facilitating a productive meeting. I entirely agree. Batu, did we get finished with all 96 wrestlings? No, nowhere close. Most meetings I've had were with not at all competent meeting facilitators. I agree with that. Oh, but yeah, Radhesh, imagine having a bunch of AI bots talking to you about the most common bug in your code and correct it so they add a bunch of comments above the bug. That's cool if it exists, but currently AI bots are also creating code with bugs because they're trained on human code, and LLMs don't actually understand anything yet. I do think that there is a future where that sort of stuff exists, but it's not where we are now, and I don't know how to get to that future or if we can get to that future. Big shrug. I am 21 and a student and know almost nothing. So the way that I try to remind myself is just that there are people much smarter than me who are thinking about these things, and I can just do what makes sense for me at the time. I served on a state board, and every single meeting was a waste of time, but the meetings had to happen. That is depressing. That is extremely depressing, but also very relatable. Bureaucracy is bad in the sense of the amount of time it wastes and things like that. For part of my day job, I work as the tech person behind board meetings that happen. And there are two different boards, and one of them is they get nothing done. They are just kind of rambling to themselves for a long period of time, and then just kind of go with whatever they were doing before, just continuing the status quo, even when they're like, this is bad, and then they do it anyway. And then the other board is made up of like people who are human, who like laugh at the board meeting and talk and like come to consensus and like have a really good productive board meeting. And seeing the contrast between both of those, I don't think there are any, like, I don't think meetings are inherently wrong, but again, it is like culture stuff, corporate culture stuff. WRT. I don't know what WRT stands for. With respect to. Great. With respect to AI creating bugs or just plain... Thank you, 404. With respect to AI creating bugs or just plain wrong code, I asked AI service for help creating a text marquee using pointer arithmetic rather than copying a string in C. It didn't give the right answer until I asked for it multiple times. It is... Yeah, I actually don't believe that I can respond to that. And I can't say more. Yeah, I believe that I need to let that one hang. FYI, ML Big Compute definitely helps with some things like identifying protein folding and diagnosis of retinal disease. That right there is very different from what we're talking about. That's not generalized AI. The problem that I have is with generalized AI, where that is like machine learning, that is like fancy statistics, and all of machine learning, to my rudimentary understanding, is fancy statistics. Do you mean generative AI? What did I say? Generalized? Yeah, generative AI is what I generally have a problem with, because I feel like there's like, I don't know. There was a post that I saw a long time ago talking about how it is sad that dancing and painting and singing and making art is something that people, like, it is perceived as something that you practice and gain skill in, and like all of this, as opposed to just what humans do and what humans have done forever. Just like birds make nests, humans sing and make art. And I have tried hanging on to that. I think you showed it yesterday. Okay, I don't remember if I showed that. But yeah, it is a quote that I think about a lot when I think about generative AI. Of like, is this something that is deeply human, and why are we trying to automate it away? Your LinkedIn is ndimmer, right? I believe it is not, but my LinkedIn is very old. If you Google Dimmer MLH, I think it'll show up. Yeah, great. If you Google Dimmer MLH, it'll show up. I've said the G word twice now, and my phone is just like, you called? I should really turn that off. Goodness, I've been thinking a lot more of privacy, and I just realized that my phone is I have chosen to let my phone be a wiretap. Okay. Wow, this has gotten really off the rails. Headphones, thankfully. That AI service, LOL. It is
Tangent alert!
the reason why
Tangent
I
alert!
don't feel comfortable talking about that is because it is a major Global Hack Week sponsor. And I'm just gonna leave that there. That like again, I'm 21 and I don't understand much, and I don't want to say something that is demonstrably wrong, and also like, yeah. Not going to wade too much into things that I don't know too much about, which is really something that I should do more on stream. I go on too many tangents, but alas. Can't wait till South Park does a Gen AI episode. Oof. I'm not I'm not especially a South Park fan. I don't know much about it, but I've heard that sort of thing is something that they do very well.
Okay, Google Play never gonna give you up.
Ugh, the grief of needing to remove that from stream. It was good while it lasted. Okay, well, this has been a chaotic last few minutes. So I'm going to recenter us. Dimmer is an AI. I mean, you can't prove that it's not. Maybe I'm so against all of these generative AI things because I am generative AI that is like perfect, amazing. None of y'all have known up till now, and I'm trying to FUD so hard that the rest of it disappears and doesn't exist. Where's your lo-fi girl cat? It is in the room across from me, behind the wall that is behind the camera. I'm still at 22 out of 96 wrestlings, and I need to catch up before the next rest stream.
Dolphin cow alien?
I don't understand what that means for I'll come back to that. Batu, this is the last rest stream. There are no more rest streams that are happening, at least that are currently planned. There might be more in the future, but there are no more that are currently planned. This was an introduction to rest, and we talked about wrestlings together, but there are no more planned. I'm streaming tomorrow, Monday, and Wednesday, both at 9 a.m. Eastern time, talking about secure web hosting, where we are going to, we're going to host that secure Google Docs alternative that I talked about, because it taught me a lot about secure hosting and self-hosting, and I think it'll be a good thing to walk through with y'all. Dimmer forgot the slideshow karaoke and the chicken matrix. Oh no, it was the one moment where my AI broke down. I don't know. So I don't know Rusts. This was great. Sorry I missed your other Rust streams. No, you never need to apologize for missing a stream, because like, I don't know, we all have lives. Like, I appreciate what you're saying of like that this was a cool stream and you learned a lot about Rust. I learned a lot about Rust too. The recordings are always up. And again, we were doing Rustlings, so you can do this on your own time. You can probably talk about it in the MLH Discord and find other people if you want to do it with people, that sort of thing. Pratham, I'm a data science major and will definitely be making a Dimmer AI in the near future. One of the things that I was looking at earlier was 15 AI. I don't know if any of y'all remember this. .15 AI was a research project that was a non-commercial freeware artificial intelligence web application that generated neural emotive high-fidelity text-to-speech voices from an assortment of fictional characters, blah, 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 blah. And it was really cool, but it is currently shut down and has been defunct for like a year and a half now. But this was a cool instance of like, this was fun because it was just like characters from different places and things like that. There are obviously ethical quandaries around this, like there are with any AI generated stuff. But it was very interesting. But alas, it is gone. We should have a hangout with Dimmer stream too, where the tangent is the content. I mean, I'm scared that if I were to pitch that, then they would be like, well, then you can't do that on your normal streams. That's not usually how MLH operates. But the way that I like to think about this is that Shem, that broke my brain too. I'm going to step past that and come back to it. One of the things is I love the fact that I'm able to do the tangents during stream, because I feel like that is better than just a stream where we talk about tangents, because the tangents do flow and relate to what we're talking about. That like the topic of the stream gives us some structure and then we can tangent around that. So I really like the structure we have. If everything is tangent, then there is no tangent. Exactly right, Wiki. I don't know how every time I open MLH Twitch, I see Dimmer. I am one of the most frequent streamers. It's one of the things that I really like. Okay, wait, I'm really interested here. There are two different users in chat, Radhe089 and Radhesh1, and they're both red on my window, and I've kept confusing you two as the same person. I'm assuming that you two are not the same person, unless you have there's one person with two accounts that are slightly different names. I'm red now too. 404, you are deeply cursed. Okay, we are not the same. I assumed as much. Maybe it was rude of me to be like commenting on this, but I just wanted to double check. AI's rat race proved me wrong. I mean, yeah. Or are we? No! Evil! Evil! No! Ugh. Copy pasta, the Unix epoch or Unix time is the number of seconds that have elapsed since January 1st, 1970 at midnight. One of the things that I've learned about is the year 2038 problem, which is when epoch time will roll over, which is a very interesting technical question, because this was like the Y2K problem, but Y2K is used in like consumer facing stuff, whereas epoch time is used in all of the code. So it's a very interesting question of, yeah, when storage constraints for unsigned 32-bit integers will reach, oh wait, I only read part of this, but Y2K38, yes. It is an interesting problem. There are a lot of problems in technology that are like this that are really interesting. Going to be worse than Y2K ever was. Think of all the enabled systems based on NICs that never get updated. Yes. Yeah. There is an audiobook that oh, it's 3:58, so I will have like 1 second to talk about this. This book is definitely a book for adults and has some mature themes, but I'm going to talk about it because I think it is a good book that talks about some interesting things, especially related to this week, Web3 week. Red Team Blues is a book by Cory Doctorow about the main character, who is a forensic accountant, and his relationship with some stuff on the blockchain. And it has talked about some really interesting things about the security of different blockchain technologies and stuff like that. Cory Doctorow is a well-known sci-fi author and digital privacy, digital rights activist, right to repair activist, all that jazz. Very interesting book. I'm about halfway through the audiobook right now. Dimmer audiobooks when? I am not especially interested in making audiobooks. Got my next book catch. I'm glad. Again, adult themes, a little bit graphic at times. Be forewarned that it is not a book for everyone, but it has been an interesting book for me. With that, it is 3:59. There is not a stream right after this. There will be the next stream in 4 hours at 9 o'clock. I would kill to have audiobooks narrate books. I don't know what you mean by have audiobooks narrate books. I have had many people, which is wild, tell me that I should narrate audiobooks. Which is interesting because one of my coworkers at my day job literally does audiobooks narrated. Yet another person who's telling me this. Okay. One of my coworkers is a voice actor for audiobooks, which is amazing. Okay. With that, it is 4:00 p.m. It is the end of our stream. Thank you all so much for coming. This is the end of our Rust series for this month. It might be back in the future. On Monday at 9:00 a.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to be back with part
This was
1
so
of
awesome.
self-hosting secure encrypted web applications, which I'm really excited for. 404, this was so awesome. Thank you. I really had a lot of fun. I really liked learning Rust in this way. I say learning Rust as if I've finished. I have not, but starting to learn Rust. Shem, thanks. Thank you for coming, Shem. Thank you all. Again, coming up right after this in 4 hours is Create a Voting System with Next.js and Smart
Good
Contracts
job.
Part 3. Thank you, Iran. So stick around for that. And until then, you can hang out in the Discord server at discord.mlh.io. Until tomorrow, anyone want to talk about Rust on the MLH Discord? That is what it's there for. Thanks, Dimmer. Had fun. I'm so glad Ritwick. Highly recommend reading the Rust book and following along with the examples. Takes a bit longer, but is way more in depth on the core concepts. Yes, I'm giving some poetry slam snaps to that. The Rust book is incredibly good. I've only heard good things about it. I am just, as evidenced by me talking about audiobooks, I struggle a little bit with sitting down and reading long passages, especially in some place like on stream. Okay, I'm so glad that y'all came. Have a good night, Ratty. Can you share the link? I can drop the link to the Rust book so that it'll be saved. Here is the book in web form. Great. Thanks, Dimmer Top Stream. I'm so glad y'all liked it. Okay. I would definitely join next Global Hack Week weekend only for you. That is very sweet of you. Thank you. With that, I'm going to head out. Again, thank you all for coming. Happy hacking and keep it crispy, y'all. Bye.